Just give me 1 second, right? I don't know if it has a name. Does it have a name, Sajida?
Blue Mountain Moon painting.
Okay, so we hope you're all ready with your supplies. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I'm going to hand it over to Sajida to explain how to go on from here. I see, Sabirine, you have your hand up, so I'm unmuting you for a second. You have a question?
Sorry, no, I don't have a question. I'm sorry, my hand's up. I'll lower it. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Okay. So what we will do is we will allow Sajida to start the class, and then we will unmute everybody's mic once she's into the session. And if anyone has any questions, they can either ask through the chat, through the Q&A, or even when we have a chance to speak. So without further ado, Sajida, if you want to take over.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Romina. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy that you've taken, a bit of time to have an evening to yourself. You deserve it, So whether you're painting or whether you're just watching, hopefully for the next couple of hours, you're going to forget any worries you have, any stress, put it behind you, get your chai, get your mandazi, relax, and hopefully, if it's something new that you're trying, it's going to be a really positive experience. So let me just see. Okay, so I'm going to start with just talking about a couple of things, all right? After tonight, I hope that you realize that painting isn't as hard as it looks, right? Sometimes when we see a painting all done up at the end, right, we haven't maybe seen the process, it seems a lot more difficult than it actually is. So I hope when I show you that, when I break it down and show you the step by step, you're going to be like, wow, that's so easy. I can totally do it. That's my aim. That's one. And two, and this is probably the biggest thing, it's that I hope you find when you're painting that it's very healing. And I think that's the main thing that I'm here to share today. It's that painting is so healing, and it's a healer of the heart. I really believe that Allah created all of us with this ability inside of us. I don't think He created some people with it. I think He created all of us with that gift. And so I'm excited for you to realize that too, if you haven't already. Okay, so I'm just going to talk for a little while. If you haven't set up your paints, then maybe you can start doing that. Yeah, and just give me a second. Okay, so I hope that you know what, like I mean, I don't know if you have experience, but I've told myself before that I can't paint, and I hear that a lot actually. When I talk to kids, when I talk to adults, usually the kids will really easily believe that they can paint and they're great artists, but for some reason it's harder to convince an adult that they can paint or they can do something. Usually they'll say, no, like I can't even draw stick people. That's something that a lot of us feel. So what I'm here to tell you is, it's literally just practice, right? Like when you start cooking or baking, the first time it might not be the best, but the more you practice it, the better it gets. And that's exactly how it is for painting. And then, yes, okay, so my second point, sorry, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything out. So you know how I was saying that painting's like the best healer? So, okay, so I discovered this quite recently, actually. So you know what, like, when we're going through difficult times in life, in the past, what I've done is usually watch Netflix and eat really bad food, right? That's how I've coped with life trials or stresses. But recently when I was going through something, I painted, and it was so healing. And as soon as I realized that, not only was it healing, but it was like I felt so connected to God. And as soon as I realized that, I knew that I had a duty to share it. And I had to share it with you. So that's really why I'm doing this. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you, before we begin, I'm gonna share with you this incredible Quran, a quote from the Quran. So while I'm showing you things, you're more than welcome to take pictures with your iPhone. I'm totally okay with that. Okay, so I'm going to show you like steps. I'm going to show you some quotes maybe. So you're welcome to do that. Okay, so it says, we placed firmly embedded mountains on the earth so that it would not move under them. So I want you to just think about it for a minute. And think about how it connects to the piece that we're doing. So we're basically doing a mix of these two. We're going to hopefully create the best of these two, but it will have the mountains. All right, so that's a feature piece. So just think to yourself, how can we use the Quran to like connect God to something like this piece? And you can share in the chat maybe, and I can, while you're thinking about it, you can share in the chat box and I'll read them out in a couple of minutes. So while you're thinking about it, you know what? So you know how like your mom and your ma like always tell you that when you cook, right? When you cook, you should always recite Quran because it makes the food better. Well, I honestly feel like it's exactly the same thing with painting. Like when I do it, when I spend a couple of minutes connecting to God, the painting just turns out better. It just does. So that's why I try and make sure that I do that. So if you guys have any thoughts. I can just tell you why I thought this would connect really well with this painting. You know what? I just felt like it made it more meaningful, like the painting and the mountains. Like suddenly I'm not just painting mountains, I'm painting mountains that, you know, God created mountains for a reason. He just didn't put them and plonk them on the earth. He made them, and there was a purpose. You know, the earth being stuck and held together by these mountains, like almost hugged together. I found so powerful. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share that. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go through the supplies that I have, and I just want to give you a few tips. All right, so I'm going to like teach you this painting in about 6 steps. So I'll teach you, I'll show you, and then you'll do it. So I'll like pause and like wait for a while. So I'm going to give you some time so you don't have to rush through it. And we have plenty of time. We have about 2 hours. We're going to take a short break for Salah. So yeah, inshallah, it will go smoothly. It'll be calm. It'll be relaxing, and we won't have to rush. Yeah. Oh, I just want to say about that. Like, if you can try like not to paint while I'm showing you, I think I feel like it will help, because I've totally been there. Like, I'm that person that paints. When I've been to a paint lounge or a class, I'm like so excited to paint, but then I find it harder to grasp the concept, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you can do that, I feel like that would help. All right, so hopefully you've got a jar of water in front of you. I just want to make sure that when you wash your brush, you don't leave it in there, all right? Because it like destroys the brush, because the brush is held together by glue. And the best way to do it is to literally swish it around, wash it, and then you can dry it and then lay it flat, okay? And then the second point I wanted to say is the best place to store unused paint. Like if you haven't finished tonight and you want to add some more stuff tomorrow, literally use one of these containers that you are not using anymore, store the paint, and it will be fresh for tomorrow, okay? Otherwise, make it easy for yourself and use a paper plate that you can just chuck. You want to make it easy, you want to make it mess-free, you want to make it not stressful for yourself, okay? So that's the other point. And then I think the most important point about supplies, I would say, is the more expensive paints and more expensive materials doesn't necessarily mean better. Everything I'm using is literally from Dollarama. My canvases, my paints, my paint brushes. So yeah, I'm just using these bottles here. And honestly, they're amazing. I actually love them. I find that I don't have to use as much water. If you are using expensive paints, you might find that you do have to use more water, but you're welcome to ask questions about it if you have any issues with it, all right? Oh, sorry, Afshan, I've just seen your question. I couldn't find turquoise. I would recommend 2 different shades of blue. So if you couldn't find turquoise, that's fine. You can do light blue, dark blue, or if you haven't got a second shade of blue, you can even use purple, or you can use orange or yellow, just something for the sky. Honestly, it's going to look fabulous, and you know what, the main thing is to enjoy it. So don't stress too much about the materials, okay? Okay, so I'm going to start with my very small canvas. I find that when I paint a small canvas, it's less stressful. So I always paint, and you know what? You know, we don't have time, that much time for our free time. So what I find that when I limit things, it's a lot more manageable. So I use a small canvas. I only use 4 paints, like paint colors, and it's just not as stressful. Honestly, I feel like I'm able to be more creative, and I'm surprised by what I can achieve. In terms of how many different things I can achieve just by using 4 colors. And I hope you'll see that too. All right. Okay, so I hope you already got your paints on your palette, you've got your brush, your water. Don't worry if you didn't get everything. We will make do, we'll find a way. Okay, so I'm just gonna open up my paints. I'm so excited about these little tubs. You'll never guess what they are. So you know in David's Tea, how they have those little tea samplers? It's literally just used ones of those that I've just popped paint in. And it keeps it fresh, right? I used these last week and they're nice and fresh and no issues with it. Okay, so I've got my paints ready. I've got my canvas. And you can take a screenshot of this if you want to. This is, oh, let me show you the first step first, all right? Okay. So this is step number 1. This is what we're going to do, all right? We're going to get our canvas. Can you see? Yeah, we're going to get our canvas. We're going to split it in half by drawing a line, and then we're going to add paint. So let me guide you through that, okay? So here's my canvas. Sorry, I'm just checking what you can see. I'm going to get my ruler and my pencil. So the best way to do this, guys, is to measure the length of your canvas. All right, so mine's 17, and then literally find the halfway point and draw a dot. So half 17 is 8.5. Oh my gosh, math skills there coming in handy. Well, basic ones. Okay. So yeah, and you can do that with pencil. All right. So you've got your line in the middle. That's separating the sky and the water, basically. Okay, so you're going to be using 3 colors, and I'm going to be showing you like the blending process. So you're going to be using 3 colors in the top half. So you're using literally blue, turquoise, or whichever second shade of blue you have, and then white. Okay, so this is the brush I'm going to be using. It's my flat brush. It's a flat brush. It's from Dollarama, and it's quite large. It makes it easier to blend. So I've got blue. So I'm just going to dip into my blue paint. Let me know if there's any issues with volume, or if you can't see anything, I'm happy to rearrange myself. Okay, so I've got my blue. Okay, and I'm going to literally paint like that. So a strip of blue. I'm so excited for you guys who haven't painted either for ages and you're picking it up after a long time, or you're trying something new, and I can't wait to hear about how it goes. Okay, so I'm literally spreading the brush and I'm taking my time with this. This is really the most enjoyable, stress relieving bit, I think. So you're moving your paint from one side to the other, so left to right, okay? And you're just smoothing it out. And then you'll see in a moment how they kind of merge together. So I'm taking my brush and I'm dipping straight into my second color. My second color is turquoise. And I'm going to literally do a strip of turquoise, okay? Right, so left to right, and then I'm going to do a back and forth motion. So I think you can see that better. All right, so back and forth, back and forth. It feels so weird because obviously when I normally teach, I usually teach kids, but I'm so used to like having the dialogue, right? So like right now, I literally feel like I'm talking to myself. I don't know if you guys are like listening or.
You're not talking to yourself, we can hear you.
Thank God for that. Okay. All right. So literally, did you notice how I literally went from the turquoise back up to the blue? I'm mixing it all together. I'm not really worried about the color changing too much. That's kind of the magic of the blending. And I can always add more if I want. All right. So I'm going to actually add a bit more blue because I do love my blue. So add it here. Also, especially with the Dollarama paints, guys, don't use too much water. it just will make your water, like your canvas or your paper even actually, if you're using thick paper, really like soggy. You don't want that. And it also actually takes paint off. Romina, are you painting, by the way?
Not quite, no.
Okay, yeah, it's a lot for you to do, it's fine.
I'm watching.
You're already an expert. You like throwing your tips here.
No. There is a request, so somebody asked me if you could kindly slow down a little bit. So I think what they mean is if you could repeat the step. I don't think you need to slow down the painting, just repeat the step about
absolutely.
how you blend it. So I guess they could see it in the next color as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to be showing you the process with this whole piece.
Okay.
But yeah, you're like, definitely tell me if I'm going too fast. I do tend to do that, especially when I'm excited. Okay, so so hopefully you saw this on the left, which is my 3 colors, right? I'm doing blue, turquoise, and white. And I'm literally just merging the strips together. And this is the bit I really love, and I hope you love too. So I've got my blue, I'm gonna add more turquoise here. Just so you can see again. Not that you have to do this, okay? Okay, so I've got my turquoise here. And then what I'm gonna do is add my 3rd bit, which is white. I'm going straight into the white. I'm not washing my brush. So you can see the white's kind of murky. Can you see that? It's not white, but that's okay because I want it to mix. I want it to blend together. Okay, that's it. Now we're getting somewhere. And then if you only have too much paint, like it's just way too much, it's just sitting there. Like I have quite a lot here. Can you see? Can you see like the lines? Just get your rag, yeah? Your rag or your tissue and literally just wipe off the paint and that will just help. It's amazing because I feel like with painting, you can like recycle so many things. I feel like less guilty for having all this stuff. Okay. So blending, sorry, I'm gonna put it down because it's a bit easier to blend. And then see the size of the canvas. You can do that at the same time. If you've got like, if you're doing canvas, see these sides, you can do it at the same time just while you've got that paint, it's easier. But you're just smoothing out the paint. You don't want any blobs. You don't want any of the canvas to show either.
So somebody was just asking if you washed the brush before you took to the white, but you haven't washed it at all yet, right?
Yeah, no, I didn't wash it at all yet. But if you've got those, you know, those art shop acrylics, you're gonna want to wash, you're gonna need more water than I'm using. I'm using Dollarama stuff, so I don't really need water, yeah?
And then somebody else is asking about some colors. So they said, can they use yellow, orange? I guess they could use any colors that would go well with their, like a sunset theme or a sky theme, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm actually gonna, in a minute, I'm gonna show you something that I did with orange and blue in a sec, okay? So hopefully you can see how that almost looks like it's one block of color. It doesn't look like there's 3 strips there. Do you see? In the camera, it looks a bit stripy in the camera, but in person it doesn't. And you'll see that when you do it yourself. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you about 5 minutes or so, and you can do this step now. Okay. And if you have any questions, now's a good time to ask as well. And now I'm going to wash my brush because if I let the paint sit on the brush, then it's way harder to get off. So give it a good swish, dry it, and then I'm going to lay it flat. Okay. Happy painting. I know there was someone who asked me if I've used different color. I just wanted to show you, sorry. Well, I've got this one. So anyway, I've used like blue and orange there. There was another one, but I can't find it. But yeah, you can see that honestly they all merge together, whichever color you use, as long as you're blending. Like you can literally take the random colors like blue and pink, and it's fine. See, blue is a bit of a hard one because you can't really mix blue, right? Because it's a primary color. But purple, pink, orange, yellow, all of those would look really good, I think. Can I ask you a favor? Whenever a couple of you are done, could you just message in the box just so I know like if I'm giving enough time or not? Oh, I think someone's raised their hand. What do I do, Ramina? How do I answer?
Okay, so we're going to allow them to talk.
Okay,
I think it's Sabra and Najrali. Did you have a comment, a question?
Unless it was a mistake, I don't know.
Hi,
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum
Can you hear me?
salam.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Thank you. So it was about the color. So I did get the orange, and I'm trying to blend the orange now. So I couldn't find turquoise. So I'm just blending the orange, and then.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. It's gonna still look really good.
And then do white underneath that, right?
Yeah, so you're exactly. So you're doing, yeah, you can, yeah, I think follow this. I think it'll be better. So yeah, so you're doing blue, orange, and then white.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, my pleasure. I'm so excited to see yours.
Sajida, do we want to unmute some the participants, attendees, so that they can maybe share their feedback right now?
Yes, yeah, great idea. Yeah,
okay?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so everyone should be able to unmute their mic and talk.
Okay, so if you have any questions or feedback, please feel free.
Just if you're done asking a question or comment, then just mute your mic so that we don't get too much feedback in the background.
Mute Karina.
I'm like still getting used to this online world. It's I don't know. I think everyone's busy painting. I think that's what it is. It's just weird not to see, right? In the classroom, I can see what you're all up to. I can't see. But I hope you're enjoying the painting and the blending, and I hope you're realizing it's not as difficult as maybe you thought it was. It's literally just practice and patience.
Sajida?
Yes.
So which colors did you use for a couple of nights ago when you did the purple background? What did you use different shades of purple?
Yeah. Oh, was it the mustard one?
Yeah.
Yeah. For that one, what did I use? I used blue and purple and white and black. Just 4 colors.
Oh, you had blue in that one too?
Yeah, I did. Actually, it was exactly the same blue as this one. Yeah. It's pretty cool what you can do just with a few colors. Yeah. Ramina, what kind of paints do you use when you paint?
No, I was just thinking the same, that Dollarama ones are really good. Because you don't have to go to like Michael's and get something expensive.
Yeah,
you can get the Dollarama ones. They're really good.
They are so good. Yeah, actually, most of my paintings I've used these ones. I have, like I feel like they're better than. I think people sometimes think more expensive is better, but I don't think that's necessarily true. So it's nice that it can be a hobby that's like not expensive, if that makes sense. Oh my God! Oh, thank you, Ashifa. Yeah, everyone's telling me that there's like literally no paint left at Dollarama. So like people have been like, I don't know, going crazy with paint.
Like toilet paper, flour, and paints now, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys about 2 more minutes, and then I was hoping to move on to the next bit so we can do this part of the canvas. It's pretty similar to what we've done anyway, what we've done at the top, just the opposite with shooting. I think a few people are unmuted maybe without realizing. Shaheen, did you have a question? I see your hand.
I just wanted to tell you how much fun we're having.
Oh, yeah! Yeah, that's made my day. Thank you. I'm so glad. Okay, is 2 minutes enough for you to finish the top part? Can someone just confirm?
I'm done.
Who's that cute person?
If you're if you feel we can move on, you can raise your
Yeah.
hand.
Okay, I have a couple
raise
of
your
done.
hand.
I'm gonna start showing you because it's the same thing really. So I feel like maybe if I show you then.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or is it already? Because right now it's small on my screen.
Sorry, say that again.
Oh, I was just gonna say, can you make my screen big so they can see?
Each person would just have to put you in the center of yours. I can see you on mine.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
guys, if you want to see the painting bigger, just double click it. That's what they have to do, isn't it?
Double click it, but now that you're talking, yours should be the main screen that everybody sees.
Okay, perfect. All right then.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so so we're doing step number 2, the water. All right, and we're basically doing the second half, right? And we're doing the opposite in colors. So we're doing white, turquoise, and blue. So maybe you can take a picture of that if you want. I'll just give you about 30 seconds. Okay, I'm like imagining you taking a picture. Okay, perfect. All right, so my brush is nice and clean. It's dry, also not too wet. So I'm dipping into my white first. And then I'm doing the other side. Don't worry too much if your pencil line gets covered. As long as you kind of know. I mean, you can kind of see it there, can't you? Okay, so I've got my white strip. Ah! And that obviously happens because you brush.
Is this a different paintbrush?
Oh, no, that's the same one. Why
Oh.
does it look different?
No, I wasn't sure if you'd washed it in between there.
Oh,
Then.
yeah,
So
I did.
much clearer now, yeah?
What's clearer?
The white, as opposed to being blended in the top. So now it's come
Yeah.
pure white. So you haven't
Yeah.
washed it either, right?
Yeah, so I did wash it. I washed it after I did the first part.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want my paintbrush to like start getting dried out. So I washed it, I dried it, and then now I'm using the same brush, but it's clean. But yeah, that's why I like doing the white first here, because it gives that clean. But at the same time, you know what? I might actually, because I don't like that separate. Well, it's going to be covered by the mountains. Never mind. Okay, so let me go through the steps, and then we'll see. We can maybe make some adjustments. So I don't want to wash my brush again. Nearly put it in the water. Okay, and I'm going into my turquoise now. So for you, it's your lighter shaded blue, or maybe it's your orange or yellow. Okay, and I'm doing the same thing. Oh, there's some stuff here. Hang on. Just get rid of it. So the thing I love about acrylic, like compared to other mediums, I mean, like, to be honest, I use this the most, but what I love about it is that you can fix mistakes. So if you make a mistake, you can like literally say, for example, I said to you, oh man, like this is not what I wanted. I can literally paint over the whole thing and you won't even know that was behind it. I've actually done that. You know what? See this canvas? I actually painted something else on it before, painted on top in white, and then redid another painting on top. So that's what I love about acrylic. And actually, that's something you can do if you have an old canvas that you used like years ago and you don't want it anymore. Literally get white acrylic. If you're using Dollarama paint, you need 2 layers, but if you're using expensive paint, then 1 layer. And paint over it, let it dry, and you can start from fresh as if literally nothing happened. Nothing was there. Be good if you could do that in life, right? Start fresh. Okay, so I've got my green. I might add a bit more actually. I quite like that. And that's the other thing too. Look, say for example, I decide I'm having more green here. It doesn't mean you have to. Just use those 3 colors. It doesn't really matter how much you use of each. You can have more blue as long as you have a combination of all 3. Now I'm going to add my blue at the bottom. And again, I haven't washed my brush because I love that effect. I love that. Oh, something that I think is quite an important point is, you know, when you're painting, right? So did you see how I put the paint on just like this? Can you see how I'm like tapping? You're going to find that it's not really that smooth look. I can get away with it in the water, but really you want to be going from left to right. Okay, so do you see how I've kind of got a strip? Now let's just go through the blending technique again. So again, I'm finding I've got too much paint. I'm going to wipe it off. Yeah, this is my best part. And the colors like marry and merge together. I really am excited for you guys who maybe think that you can't paint to realize that you can paint. That's literally the best. That's the best like thing when you see that, when you see somebody who hasn't really painted or had the chance to paint and they realize that they can. It's like magical, really. Okay, so I'm starting to get like stripes here, so I'm gonna add a bit more turquoise. Don't be afraid to keep going over until you have a united piece. So yeah, and also like, you know, it's that mind frame, guys. Like if you're feeling good and you're feeling positive and you're feeling like you're going to enjoy it and you're feeling like it's going to turn out well, and you're not worried about how the end result will turn out, then I feel like it's all part of the whole process, right? You're enjoying it. It's the positivity goes into your work. And you know what else is amazing? I think sometimes when we step outside of our comfort zone, it's really intimidating, I think, maybe to go and try something new, right? Whatever it is, whether it's painting or a sport. If you've never done it before, it's really scary to go to a class and see everyone else who might be really good at it. But yeah, you're at home. You're sitting there in your pajamas with your snacks, like no one's looking, no one's judging. You do you, you know? And you can almost like, it's almost like because you're less scared, you can like let loose and just try it with your whole heart. Okay. So I'm feeling good about that. Splendid. If you can see. Yeah, so it's the same technique, and now it's just covering the whole thing. So if you, just to let you know, and oh, sorry, one thing I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to wash my brush straight away because I don't want the paint to sit there. All right, so washing my brush, giving it a good wash, and drying. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Oh, yeah. So if you were painting and you didn't have as much time or whatever, you can literally just use a hairdryer to dry it, because now what's going to happen is we don't want, like as we go on, we'll need the background to be completely dry before we can like paint the mountains on top, right? So you just hairdryer it, but I think we'll have Salah in between, so we should be okay. Yeah, my sky is actually dry. I don't know about you guys. Hopefully yours is. Sorry, I'm just seeing some of your comments now. Yay, I'm so happy I can see. Okay, excited to be painting, good. All right, so how many minutes should I give you to finish this bit before? I just want to do the stars before Salah. Can someone tell me how much, or can someone say whether you're done your canvas or whether you need more time? Maybe you can just text, type it, please. Yay, okay, amazing. Okay, you're getting the hang of it. Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to give it about 2 more minutes and then I'll show you the stars. Romina, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
I was going to ask you, how many minutes is good for Salah?
I had a feeling you were going to ask me this question.
Ah, mind reader.
Yeah. Namaz at 8:23.
Yes.
If we stop at around 8:20.
Okay, perfect.
How long did someone write? It takes 2 minutes for Salat. I think not 2 minutes.
Oh no, I think 2. Oh, I think they're saying 2 minutes. Like they need 2 more minutes.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. Okay, so
Yeah.
I think 10-15 minutes is good, right?
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So 8:20, and then we come back at 8:35.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we'll see. I mean, hopefully people will just stay signed in and just make sure they're on mute. No, don't leave the session, please, and then come back. Just stay signed in and just make sure you're on mute. And yeah, and then we can just pick up again at 8:35. Okay,
amazing. Thank God you're here for me now. What would I do without you? Literally, I don't know.
Go to the ISIJ website to check the Salah timing.
Okay. Can we have till 8:40? I think Shaheen's asking, can we have till 8:40? I'm sure that's fine. Salah is 10 minutes later. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if we haven't finished by 9:45, can I take 5-10 extra minutes or?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, like at the end of the
As long as you
session.
guys don't mind, yeah.
Yeah, listen, there's no session after yours, so don't worry. We can do 8:40, 8:45. We can start back, and then we can
Okay.
add the extra 10 minutes at the end. No problem.
Okay, perfect. That's amazing. Okay, so I've got a good, let's say 10 minutes now, so I'm going to use that. Okay, so the next step is the stars. So that's step number 3. I'm going to show you this. This is literally my favorite part. If you saw my mustard teeth last week, then you'll know why. So this is a bit where you need a toothbrush. If you haven't got a toothbrush, I feel like I can hear echoes in my voice. In my voice, can you? Or is that somebody else's mic? Sorry. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think somebody else's mic. Sorry, I'm just going to say that again. Yeah, so I'm going to do the stars bit. And you literally need a toothbrush and white paint. If you haven't got a toothbrush, I'm going to show you another technique. But for now, let me show you the toothbrush way. Okay. So you get your toothbruch. You get a plate.
Sajida,
Yeah.
someone's just asking, did you draw a white line in the middle, or is
Yeah.
that the white left over from?
Oh, that's a really good question. It's actually just a white left over, but you know what? I think in the back of my mind, I was okay with it because I'm going to add a white line anyway. So even if you don't, we're going to add the white line, so don't worry about it. Like even if you blend that and there's no line, don't worry about it, honestly. I don't know if that was helpful or not really. Oh, sorry, I'm just seeing another question. Can you just show the middle part again? Oh, okay. So hopefully
I'm
that
hoping
makes
you
sense.
read out some of these questions.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, that'd be great. Oh, so Sabra's just asked that question. You asked, can you show the middle part again?
Yeah, I
Did
just
do
asked
that?
her question for her.
Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, so no more questions, right? I haven't missed any other ones, have I?
No, I think that's okay.
Okay, fine. All right, sorry, so I'm gonna go back to this. So for this bit, you wanna get clean water. So if you haven't got clean water in your jar, get clean water. I've got a second jar because I make a mess usually with my first one. So you wet your toothbrush, okay, so it's nice and soggy. And then you dip into the white paint, or you can even pop it on here. So hang on, I'm gonna move this out the way. Palette, white, dip in, okay, and then I'm gonna swish it around my palette here, just to kind of blend it, evenly coat it on my brush and really scrub it in there, okay, and then I'm trying to make it look like milk, okay, I want to make it look like milk, but not too watery either, okay, so yeah, all right, so it's kind of coated mostly, and then you want to hold your canvas. So this is my canvas. I'm going to show you a top view, an aerial view, and you want to be about that far. You don't want to be this close, because if you're this close, then you get spatter kind of effects. So about this far. In fact, start further back, and if it doesn't, if it's too far and you can't see anything happening, then you can get closer slightly, but not nearer than this, okay? And then, so here's my canvas, and when I point it to the canvas, I'm literally getting the top of the brush, and I'm pushing my thumb all the way down and letting go. And basically the top of the paintbrush shoots spatters on the canvas, and hopefully you can see in a sec, all right? So you should see. Can you see? I'm gonna add a bit more paint because I feel like it's dried out. So I'm gonna wash my brush again. Okay. And then don't worry if it gets in the water, because that's reflecting anyway, isn't it? So yeah. So okay. So yeah, I've got some bigger stars there. Do you see that? If you get a star that you were like, oh man, that's like a splash, a splatter, you didn't really want it, literally all you have to do is you get get a thin brush. Actually, let's get my detail brush. Get a detail brush, okay, like this. Wash it in water, and the water will erase it. So I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so say for example, I'm like, oh, see this one here? I don't really want that there, so I want to erase it. So I literally get my water brush, and hold it up, and you can literally get rid of it. Okay, you can maybe even, if it's not budging, you might want to dry it, or if it gets too watery, but you can just blend it out. Let me just make sure you can see what I'm doing. Just dry it, add more water even. Just make sure you're not using dirty water though, because that will not help. Okay, and then when that dries, hopefully, oh, sorry, I just realized I'm out of view. When that dries, you'll see that it was never really there. Yeah, gone. Magic. It looks wet now, but when it's dry, it'll be gone. Okay, so that's the first way of using a toothbrush to create stars. I'm going to show you a second way, which is also very cool. So I'm going to get this brush again. Okay, my detail brush. I'm going to wash it in water, and I'm going to, again, you'd make the milk kind of a texture in your palette. Okay, and then you coat the milky white all around your brush. Just twirl it. Okay, make sure the tip especially is nicely coated, and then just maybe get into a better angle. Yeah, so I'm just going to prop this up, so it's easier when you have it propped up, or if you have an easel, that's even better. All right. Okay, so you get your skinny brush and you get a bigger brush, a heavier brush, and basically what you're going to be doing, guys, is you're going to be whacking the big brush on top of this brush. So this brush, okay, so I know there's a lot of instructions. Let me start again. So I need two brushes. I need a big brush and I need a skinny brush. The skinny brush has got white on it, and this one's clean. There's nothing on that, okay? And I'm going to literally knock really hard with the big brush onto the little brush. I'm going to show you how that works. And I'm not going to be too close again. Can you see that? The splatters? So I don't know if that was clear enough. You're literally whacking the skinny brush with the big one. And when you whack it, that's when stars appear. You can even get like constellation kind of things, which looks cool. Again, you're about this far, this kind of a distance. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to give you a few minutes, and then we're going to break for Salah too. Yeah, perfect. Actually, something you could do if you wanted is you could go into white, and if you wanted a couple of big stars, you can even add, but you just got to be so careful. I mean, well, you don't have to be that careful, actually. You can, I'm not telling you to relax. I'm like, you better be careful. No, so you can just literally, and then just dot. It's kind of nice to have a couple of big stars, I think. I think it's really cool to make sure you have a nice, sturdy, skinny brush. I mean, this is from Dollarama, to be honest, so yeah. Perfect. Sorry, Sabira said, are we doing it at the bottom too? And Alia said, can you repeat the instructions? Was it for the stars, guys? I'm guessing it's for the stars. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you again. Okay, so you have two options for the stars. Yes, perfect. Okay, so you have two options for the stars, guys. You can either use a toothbrush or a skinny brush. I'm going to show you the toothbrush first, okay? So you want to make a mixture of white and water in your palette. So white and water, okay? Swish it around. Make sure it's not too thick. And then you coat your brush. So you coat your brush and rub it in there like that. Okay, and then basically what you're doing is you're getting your toothbrush and you're going from top. Okay, so let me show you here. You're literally going from top, pressing your thumb all the way down. And what's going to happen is from the top part here, it's going to flick stars onto your piece. I'm going to show you, okay? So you want to be this far away, not nearer or farther than that, really. And then you go, can you see how there's more stars? God, my piece is going to be literally like us, stars everywhere. That's cool though. I'm okay with that. Okay, so can you see? Was that clear enough about the toothbrush? Alia and Sabra, do you want me to tell you the other way as well, or is this okay? I just don't want to repeat it if everyone knows already. I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't want to disturb your painting. Okay, maybe the like painting. Okay, I'm just going to show you the other way, just in case. Okay, so the second way, and if you already know, you can mute me if I'm interrupting your flow here. So you get your skinny brush, okay, this one, and you're again making this milky texture of paint and white. Swirl it around. Okay, I'm gonna actually do it so you can see. So white, swish it around. Okay. And then you're basically going to get a big brush onto a thin brush and you're whacking it like this onto your painting. Just be really careful that you don't get it everywhere, because literally that's my house right now. There's stars everywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and erase. So I've got some stars on my water here that I might not want. So I'm just gonna get clean water on my little brush and I'm gonna wipe it out. If you're watching, you can watch that, I guess. Is anyone here painting for the first time? I guess you're all painting, you're too busy to listen. You can tell me after, maybe. But yeah, see this erasing technique? You can literally only do it when the background's dry, because if you do it when the background's wet, you're just taking off the bottom layer, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I was going to put some nasheeds on in between, but it's not working. Typical. Actually, guys, I know it's we're going to break for Salah, but is anyone here who wants to like show their camera so that we can see their piece? You don't have to show yourself if you don't want to, but I'd absolutely love to see how your background's going. Anyone? Any volunteers, please? Oh, Fatima Batul, it's your first time painting. Wow, that's amazing. I'm so excited to hear about how it's going for you. Okay, Sabira and Anisa volunteering, amazing. Yeah, so do you want to like start your video so we can all see?
So I think I have to just make them panelists to be able to show their camera. So I'm just going to do it for a temporary moment.
Okay, perfect.
For Anisa Jaffer and for Sabra Najali. 1 second,
amazing.
Okay? And then once you become a panelist, you can just share your.
Okay, so do they have to start the video, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Anisa, do you want to start your video as soon as you become?
Okay, so I'm just going to promote one by one as the comments come in for those who want
amazing,
to.
Yeah.
So there is Anisa Jaffer, so she should now be able to start her camera.
Okay.
Okay. Sabira Najrali should now be able to share her camera.
I didn't see Anisa's though.
Well, they can, one by one they can, yeah. Okay. Like they can go ahead and do it as they want. Yeah, okay. It's not going to.
It says that you've disabled it, so it won't let me yet.
Gosh, this is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, I'm right. Yeah.
Is it not letting you do your video?
No,
It should let you
it says
start
you,
video at the bottom.
it says the host has disabled it.
Okay, now try. So the way the webinar works, I think, is that only the co-hosts can share their cameras.
Okay, sorry guys.
Maybe we can get them to send in their pictures. I see Cyber and Ajrali's now. If you look across the top,
Oh no, I can't
you
see
see
it.
all
Oh,
of them at
oh
the
yeah,
top.
yeah, I can
Yeah.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Let me, for Anissa Jaffer, can you try showing your camera as well?
Amazing. Wow, look at that blending, Anissa. Wowza. Yeah, really getting the hang of it. Well done, guys. So yeah, you like literally, I think that's the key. You want it to look like one, or like, you know, two, if that makes sense. You want it to look like one color, not two. You don't want to see like, you want to try and not just see any like strips, right?
Does
So-
mine look like it, or do I need to
Yeah.
improve something?
No, if you wanted, you can just keep on blending the blue and the orange. I know, because your colors are quite different, right? So for
Yeah.
you, maybe it's a little bit harder. But you keep, maybe you can take some orange and some blue in the same brush and like blend over, and even add the white, so it literally looks like one color from top to bottom, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to remove some co-hosts and let a few other people share theirs, if that's okay.
Yeah, the more the merrier.
So just give me a second. We'll look at a few more before we go. So.
Perfect.
Okay, so we have Alia Amarsi and Bashira. I'm going to just promote you to co-host so you can share your cameras. If you want to go ahead, you're both able to share your cameras. Bashira and Alia Amarsi. Can you see it, Sajda?
No, could you?
And unmute your mic too and say that here is your piece, so it'll show up in the center. Okay,
Oh
so
yeah, I can see someone.
Bashira, I can see you. So you want to show your painting? And Alia Amarsi, can you see them?
Oh, lovely. Oh, it's lovely, Bashira.
Can you see mine? Can you see mine?
Yeah, I love that. That's lovely. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Alia Amarsi.
Good. That's excellent. Thanks for sharing.
And then we have Soha and Sultan Ali.
Wow. Lovely, Soha. Are you proud of that? Yeah, you should. That's lovely. Thanks for sharing. I love how you blended, guys. I'm really impressed.
Okay, and I think Shaheen, we have Shaheen and Sultan Ali. They can show theirs as well. There's Shaheen. Can you see it? The two of them on the screen?
Oh, wow. Look at that blending. Wow, that's awesome. How do you feel about it? You happy with it? Oh, I can't hear them. I just realized I can mute.
They can unmute their mic. if they
We're
want.
good. I think
Yeah,
we're enjoying it. What do you think?
Oh, wow.
That's brilliant. Thanks for sharing, guys. That is some blending. Wow. Thank you.
And Sultan Ali and Shaheen. And Sultan Ali, yeah. Can you see them?
Oh, that's lovely. Look at that blending. Great. Yeah, perfect. That's lovely. Is that your first time? Okay. Okay, I think I'll mute. Okay, well, lovely. Thanks so much for sharing, guys. That's lovely. It makes me feel a bit closer to you, not so far away.
So we'll take a break now, yeah?
Yeah,
For
perfect.
Salat.
So we're back at
And
8:40 or 8:45?
8:45 is good. We can start at 8:45. So if everyone can come back by 8:40.
Perfect. Right.
And what we'll do is maybe we can request them to send their pictures in their final product. So when we put the video up at the end of the session, we can post their pictures of their final products too. So everyone gets a chance to show theirs.
Oh, I'd love that. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. So we'll figure out a way to do that as well for the
Amazing.
participants.
Thanks so much, Ramina.
Okay. Thanks.
Isn't it? I think you said it was. Could you just confirm that?
Yeah, it will be recorded. There might be some parts that I have missed from when I came down from Salat, but yeah, it's recorded.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. No worries. Yeah, you didn't miss anything. So yeah, if you have any questions, sorry. Okay, I've got some. Anissa, you asked me to slow down. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna wait for you to draw the mountains. All right. I'm just gonna go through that again, just so it makes a bit of sense. So can you see this diagram on my left here? Okay, so let's make that clearer. Okay, so what you're doing is you're drawing these bottom mountains first. Okay, you might even want to draw the line in. If you've lost your line in your painting, draw your line in, and then basically you're starting from the middle out, and you're drawing 3 upside down tops, like three. I don't know what to call them. Ramina, what should I call them? Not M's, but upside down V's. I don't even know what to call that. Anyway, so
Call them
1.
upside down V's, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. And don't worry if you can see all the lines and all this stuff going on, because that's all going to be covered by paint, right? So then you do 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and then it's easier to work on the top, right? So you can make those a little bit rounder if you want. Yeah, and then you're basically drawing 2 or 3, it's up to you, mountains. I hope that was clear. Yeah, so you want to make sure before you do this, your background is completely dry. So you can get a blow dry, you know, hair dryer. I do that all the time. You can just get that. I'm gonna put Nasheed on while you're drawing. Do you think 3 minutes is enough for that?
And there's nobody to count your tears. Just remember, no matter where you are, Allah knows. Allah knows. When you're carrying a monster door, and you wonder how far you can go. With every step on that road that you take, Allah knows. Allah knows. No matter what inside or out, there's one thing of which there's no doubt. Allah knows. Allah knows. And whatever lies in the heavens and the earth, every star in this whole universe, Allah knows. Allah knows. When you find that special someone, feel your whole life has barely begun. You can walk on the moon, shout it to everyone. Allah knows. Allah knows. When you gaze with love in your eyes.
Okay, guys, are we ready to start on? Can one or two of you just perhaps say whether you need more time or not? Ready? Perfect. Amazing. Okay, so you want to make sure you're happy with the shape of your mountain. Yeah, okay, perfect. I've got 3 people already. All right, so I'm going to show you this part. Hopefully this will help us. We're just going to closely look at the mountain. So now I'm just going to fold this so that it's not too confusing. So here, you can take a screenshot actually. Okay. So we're going to be working on the back mountains first, right? The farther out ones. So these ones and these ones, okay? So for this, we're going to be mixing something together. So you need your palette. And can you guys see how I've got 3 colors here, but they're in different sizes? That's because you need more of this color, less of this color, and a little of this color. If you're using a different blue than me, that's fine. You can just use more of the light blue. If you're using orange, I know somebody's using orange. I'm not sure, so you might want to play around with this until you're happy with it. Okay, so don't put your created paint onto the canvas until you're 100% happy. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do it. So first, so I need green, I need blue, and I need a teeny bit of black. So turquoise. Okay, so that's like, let's say, okay, two dollops, okay? And then $1 of blue and a teeny bit, not teeny bit, I'm exaggerating, like about this much black. I'm gonna mix it together. And this part is not gonna work out necessarily straight away. I'm gonna take a bit of time to create the color I want, right? It doesn't have to be exactly how I do it. You guys decide how dark you want it. Now this is quite dark, but I think I'm happy with that. I think I'm gonna try it onto the canvas and then you can always paint over. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so that's quite dark. You know what? I'm gonna add a bit more turquoise. So I don't really wanna mess up my pot. Let's use this. Okay, so I'm gonna add more turquoise and mix that into my mixed paint. So remember, you're just adding 3 colors. You want more of the lightest color. So it's got that kind of a glow, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. And then I'm going to be adding green anyway, okay? So now what I'm going to do is you just use the right brush. If you have extra brushes, amazing. Otherwise, you can even use your detail brush. You can even actually use your big brush. It's up to you, to be honest. It will work, okay? But obviously, my canvas is small, right? So I want to be using a smaller brush. So when I'm painting the back and when I'm trying to create a line and cover the chalk, I literally just dab. And I'm not too worried about the lines being straight anyway, because you know what, mountains aren't really straight. So the key, honestly, guys, the key to painting is literally taking your time. When you take your time, and I think that's with anything in life, isn't it? When you take your time, then the results will be a reflection of that. And just keep telling yourself, guys, remind yourself, you know, that the whole point of this is honestly for the feeling of it, not the end part, you know? And like, even if you feel like it's not going well, by the end of it, inshallah, you will feel that it does. And honestly, can I tell you something, guys? I have painted this painting tons of times. Like in a minute, I'll show you how many times I paint the same painting before I teach it. So this is not my first time painting this. I've painted this 7 times. And same with every single painting, right? Because obviously my job as a teacher is to make sure I've worked through any issues and that I can explain it properly and find the best way of teaching it. So don't worry if it's not exactly what you wanted the first time. I hope that if it isn't, then you'll try again. And it's just like a recipe, literally. Like, do you know how many times I've messed up? Never mind paintings, but recipes. Zillions of times, you know? And I think that's just part of growing as a human, isn't it? That I think if we did something once and it was amazing, then there wouldn't be much point to progressing and growing and evolving as humans. So I think there's a reason that God makes it that way, right? Because only God can can create something perfectly the first time. So don't be too hard on yourselves if it's not going the way you wanted. But I just really hope you enjoy it, and I just hope you tasting painting is going to make you want to do it. That's really what I would hope that comes out of this. And of course you can paint over chalk and even pencil. I mean, you can be light with a pencil if you, I should have told you that before, shouldn't I? Sorry guys, but yeah, try and be light with it. But at the same time, acrylic can go over it. You just might need to do 2 coats. I mean, I've done 1 coat, but you might need 2. All right, so I've basically painted. Okay, so I've got my background mountains. There's one more thing I need to do just to make them glow. And it's almost like they're reflecting the sky or the water. Can you see on the diagram? I don't know how clear this camera is, but I'll show you. So I've got my background and now I'm literally, now I'm gonna wash my brush, okay? So make sure you wash your brush. Just because it's a lighter color, so you want the lighter color to have more of an impact, okay? Okay, so get your lighter brush, and then you're going to go into your turquoise or your lighter blue or your orange. Okay, you don't want too much, and you want to do it while the background mountains are wet because you want it to blend. So right now it's not, but that's okay. I'll show you. Okay, so can you see this patch? I'm going to wipe the rest of the paint off, and I'm going to blend, 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 and I'm going to dab, dab. I'm actually dabbing, dabbing. And actually, you know what, guys? It's not blending because it's dried already. So I'm going to add a bit of water because I want it to kind of look like it's part of this same mountain, not separate. So that's pretty important to make sure it's blended. I could even take some of my dark paint again now, go back into the dark paint, this one, and work together. Actually, I mean, maybe I shouldn't have even said that you need to wash your brush. Maybe you didn't actually. I make mistakes all the time when I'm painting, you know, like, but you learn every single time. Okay, so yeah, so do you see how it's kind of glowing? I might add a bit more green actually, why not? Yeah, and then you can see, do you see some parts of my green are not blended in? But I kind of like that kind of a pop. But you guys decide what you want to do. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other side. If you want to start, you're more than welcome to. If you want to watch because you just want to see one more time, that's good too. I'm dipping into the dark color because my light one's dried. Dab, dab. I'm dabbing. I feel like it looks better. I'm gonna see if I can add more dark. You want to make sure you've got the dark at the back and it's not all the same color though. You know what I mean? I just feel like it looks more 3D that way. But you decide, like, I mean, there's no wrong, honestly, there's no wrong. It doesn't have to be a certain way. Oops. Does anyone have any questions? Now's a good time to ask too. If you want, you can just chat. Oh yeah, Fatima said the front mountains look like they're painted because of the chalk. Yeah, they do. You're right. The only thing is the chalk is gonna, like, in probably like an hour, the chalk will wipe away, so it's not gonna stay unless you sprayed it. Can we do? Anissa said, can we do all the mountains black? Yeah, sure, you can if you want to. Maybe you can, I mean, I don't know if you want to, if you want to make them look more 3D, then try and add another color in, even if it's a little bit at like the V parts, you know, or the bottom parts.
So someone was asking if you're going to do the buildings painting as well.
I'm not going to, but I can talk you through it if you want.
If you are, yeah, maybe at the end you could do a quick couple of minutes just go over how it differs in the buildings as opposed to the mountains one.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can show it to you. I can just put it here so you can see, but honestly, it's literally just using a ruler and pencil and
drawing out the building. But
yeah.
The water and the effects will be similar to what you're going to do for this one too, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready to move on. I was thinking about 5 minutes for this.
Get your deep self back when you feel all alone in this world. And there's nobody to count your tears. Just remember, no matter where you are, Allah knows. Allah knows. When you're carrying a monster load, and you wonder how far you can go. With every step on that road that you take, Allah knows. Allah knows. No matter what inside or out, there's one thing of which there's no doubt. Allah knows. Allah knows. And whatever lies in the heavens and the earth, every star in this whole universe, Allah knows. Allah knows. When you find that special someone, feel your whole life has barely begun. You can walk.
Yeah, sorry, Anissa, I see a couple of questions. So Anissa, you've asked, can you do all the mountains black? Because I accidentally painted. Yeah, that's fine, honestly. That's fine, still looks like mountains. Yeah, definitely. As long as you like it and you're happy with it, that's the main thing, really. Okay, have somebody saying they're ready. Can one more person confirm that they're ready? Perfect. Okay, so we're actually going to be painting the front mountains in black. I'm doing it in black so that it gets this effect. All right. So Anissa, you're going to have to do yours. Maybe you can do yours the other way around, so that your front mountains are this color or something similar. Okay. Okay. So now, literally, we're just going to paint the front mountains in black, and then I'm going to show you what to do to get them to look a bit more 3D. Okay. So you can, if you're happy and comfortable and confident, you can do that. Go ahead and paint them in black. Just take time with the edges, guys. That's really it. It's the not rushing that's going to help you create a piece that you feel like it gives you more control, right? When you're rushing or when you're trying to get it finished, or, you know, it's harder to, I don't know what the word is, it's harder to have control. I know there's some people, a friend of mine's painting in watercolor with her son, and they sent me a picture during the break, during Salah time, and they look fabulous. So it really doesn't matter what you use. The concepts are similar, you know, and if you've used it before and you feel more comfortable with that, that's amazing. Oops, I can't talk and paint apparently. I feel like for me, I got more confidence when I understood the process. You know what I mean? Like, one, understanding that, you know what, you can fix everything, and two, understanding that if I do the mountains before the water, it's easier because it's easier to do the next stage, if that makes sense. But it doesn't really matter, to be honest. You know how I was saying earlier about how it's harder to convince an adult that their painting's wonderful, or they're good at painting, or they can paint, and it's way easier to convince a kid. Usually, probably like out of 9 out of 10 kids, I can not convince them, but, you know, they'll believe that they're a good artist or they can paint really well. And I wonder why that is. Why are we so hard on ourselves? I always ask that in my classes. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about that. Like literally a kid would be like, draw a scribble and they'll be like so proud of it, you know? So I don't know. I did a workshop last week and the girl I was doing it with said something really powerful. She said, like, when you paint like a child. So it's like your inner child, you know, you're not being critical of yourself. We are though, aren't we? We just are as adults, but I am too. It's hard. But I'm trying not to be, and I feel that I'm enjoying it way more. You know, I feel that connection to God way more when I try to do that. We already have so many things that we have to worry about in terms of performing, right? So I think that's why it would be hard to paint. It would be like, I think my sister was telling me this, that if you paint, you know, if you do art for a professional way, like as in selling your paintings, I think it's a lot more pressure. It's a lot harder to create in a way where you're not critical. Anyway, I'm just rambling and babbling here. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I've got my black. So I guess I should wait for you right before I do the next bit, but I feel like it won't be, okay, I'm gonna show you this part. This part is really important. So if you can stop painting black, just because I don't need to miss this part, and I think it'll look better if it's blended in a bit more. So now what we're doing is, can you see? Okay, so we've painted in black. Okay, we're painting with dark blue to create these shadows. Can you see? Can't even see, can you? Hang on, let me try this. Okay, yeah, I think that's a bit better. So you're creating the shadows here, okay, the underlayer, and then on top we're going to add light blue. Sorry, we're making light blue, so it's blue and white. So you just need a teeny bit. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So yeah, please watch this part, because this part's a little fiddly, if that makes sense. Okay, so blue and water. I'm going to use, remember how I said to have like a scrubby brush? What that is, and literally my scruffy brush is all from Dollarama, but it's like an old brush that looks like it's been through a lot kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like it's just rough. It's not like good for blending, but it's really good for this part. So you can use that, or you can use a flat brush that's small. Thank God for Dollarama, because you usually get like a range. When you buy a pack of brushes, you get a range of brushes. So I'm going to show you using both brushes just so you can see, okay? Okay, so first we're doing the underlayer, which is the blue, okay? And I'm literally dabbing, all right? I don't want it to be like this. I want it to be more harsh, if that's a word. Okay, so I added blue and a bit of water. Just be careful that it's not like dripping though, right? Because you can have drops all over. So blue, okay, and dab. Okay, was I clear about that? Dab, dab, dab. Okay, do the other side now. Oh no, sorry, I lied. Okay, let's get the scruffy brush and I'll show you how to do it with that. So this is this brush. Okay, so I'm just literally gonna get a teeny bit. Sorry, I'm not even showing you. Okay, a teeny bit. Okay, like that. Okay, and the same thing, you're just dabbing. I just like the texture it gives, you know? It's up to you though. There's no wrong or right way, right? Like I was researching mountains online and there's like literally so many, there's like hundreds of different ways that you can do it, you know? This way spoke to me and I tried it a few times. So the first time actually it looked nothing like mountains. They looked like little potatoes basically. So I just realized that the V's really help them look like mountains. Yeah, okay. And then give it a good wash, because make sure if you use a dry brush, it's actually meant to be dry, so maybe I shouldn't have washed it, but yeah. Okay, so now, and I will repeat it because I know there's 3 steps to for this. Okay, so I'm going to now mix my blue and some white in my palette. So blue, okay, and sorry, white. I would say equal amounts. Actually, no, that's a lie. I would say get the white and literally mix blue into that. Does that make sense? So you're mixing the blue into the white, so there's more, and then you can decide, you can always add more. Oh, okay, that was pretty easy. So you basically need a tiny bit of blue. I've got way too much. Yeah, so a tiny bit of blue. Okay. And then I personally like the effect of the scruffy brush, so I'm going to do that on one side, but I will show you the dab motion too. All right, and it's literally the same thing, guys. So you get into your, let me move this out of the way. It's got stuff everywhere. It's hard to be neat when you're being creative, you know, like, well, I guess you're supposed to be messy, right? Okay, so you go into your light blue, and then basically the top is where you're dabbing. All right, dab, dab. Kind of looks like, I don't know, it's not snow, but yeah. So I actually, you know what, I want it more at the top, so I think I might need to use the other brush too. This brush is not the best actually. Okay, let's try the other brush. I think I might do that. So yeah, when you're doing it, you can change your mind all the time. You don't have to follow through just because you said. So you literally, okay, you're literally getting a brush, okay, and you're just dabbing the paint, but literally, guys, there's hardly any on my brush, and it gives me more control. It's better to have less than more. It's literally barely there. Look, it's like, can you see that at the top of my brush? Barely anything. And I'm literally going to the outlines of the black, and I'm adding this blue. Okay, so can you see the light and the dark together? Okay, I'm gonna do the other side. If you wanted to start, you can. If you want to have a look one more time, you're more than welcome to. Okay, so I've got my dark, and I'm gonna add my blue. I've got too much paint, I think. I prefer it when it's less. Do you see the other side? Do you see how delicate it is? You can't really see the lines, if that makes sense. I think it helps when you have a, sorry, I'm trying to see and paint at the same time. Yeah. And then just move your brush around so it doesn't look like straight lines. Just be creative. Totally get into it, you know? Yeah, actually, you know what I just realized? You know when you dab, so you know when you're dabbing, put the top down and then press halfway. And I like that effect. Try that, see what you think. Try it on paper first, just in case you're not happy with that. All right, so I'm happy with that. I'm gonna put that down now. Oh, actually, I'm just gonna add a bit more blue here, guys, just to fizzle up. See how there's like a sharp line here? I'm gonna just, maybe a bit more of the light. Yeah. Just wiping the paint off, and I'm going to try and add more light at the top again. I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Let me know if I'm going too fast. Yeah. And then don't forget to wash your brushes, because then if it goes dry, it's way harder to, I said that already, but it's just harder to maintain the brushes. You want to wash it straight away. Actually, I don't know if you're interested. It'll be a repetition for the people who watched it last week, my session last week. But I just actually recently found this out, and I just wanted to share. So when you're washing your brushes, the correct way and the best way to do it is to get 2 jars, all right, of water, one with warm water and one with cold water, like not freezing, but cool. You literally get your brush, okay, you wipe it off, make sure you've wiped it properly, and then you wash it, swish it around in the warm water, and then it goes straight into the other the other cooler water. And then you dry it, and then you always leave your brushes flat. It's like a little spa for your brushes. Any questions? Anything? Oh, thank you, Sabira. I just saw your message. Oh. I'm blushing now. Zinat, yeah, absolutely. Zinat's just asked, can I repeat how to do the mountain shadows? Yes. Okay. When you say shadows, do you mean the on top of the black, right? I'm guessing that's what you. I'm glad you like the mountains. Okay, I'm assuming that you mean the dark and then the light. Okay. So now that you've painted your mountains black, yeah, you're literally getting your blue. So the blue that you use right at the top. Okay, the same blue. You get your blue, and I don't know if you have a rough brush or if you just have one of these regular brushes. You dip it in, but you don't want much paint at all, guys, like barely any. Okay, so wipe, it's literally put it into the paint and then wipe it off. And then you're literally going, see halfway here, and you're dabbing. Dab, let me bring it up so you can see. You're literally going dab, 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 dab. You're literally creating a bit of a line, so like that. Does that make sense? It doesn't really matter if you get it lower. It doesn't really matter if it goes up here, because you're going to cover that with the lighter color anyway, if that makes sense. Yeah? And then you're doing the same thing with the light blue. So I'm leaving the colors here just so you can see, right? So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the glowy shadows, which is the blue, and then the highlights, which is the light blue at the top. Good question.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
Repeat the last step you said, when the shady part, because I missed it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sure. Did you mean which part? Sorry, I can't even see you talking. One sec. Let me just
The
change
shady part just now. I was washing my brushes, so I missed it.
Oh, no. Yeah, sure. No worries. Okay. So you're talking about this bit, aren't you? Are you talking about this bit? The black part? Or the top of the black part? Can you? I'm so sorry. I don't even know your name.
The bottom one, bottom.
This part here?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So what I did was basically I painted it black.
Mm-hmm.
Once it was black, I dabbed on top with blue. You know the blue that you used right at the top of your painting? That same blue, right? So you get the blue, you dip in. Once you've dipped in, it's still too much. So you dip into your palette and then you dry it off onto your cloth. Okay, so you dry till you have barely any there. And then you literally go dab, 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 and you press. So when you're pressing your brush down, press halfway down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay, understood.
Okay, and then you're doing the same thing with the light blue, okay? Blue and white. And then you're making dabs. Sorry, I hope that was helpful.
Okay, thank you.
There's a question from Alina. Do mountains need to be dry first before putting the highlights? That's a really good question. I can't remember what I did, but I did it straight after, didn't I? So it was kind of dry. If you want it to pop, then dry. But acrylic dries pretty fast anyway, so I think damp is fine. It doesn't have to be completely dry. because the black's quite strong. So yeah, but if you find that you're doing this and your paint doesn't show up on the black, then you just got to wait. That means you got to wait for it to dry. Maybe there's too much paint, maybe using a different material. I hope that helps. Perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some more of that blue because I did the dark blue again while I'm giving you a couple of minutes. Oh man. Okay, so I think Alina, you know what? That's a good point, but I think you're right. I think if it's drier, it helps. Okay, so you don't want any water. And see how I've done that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get rid of that by, see how I've got that clump of paint. That happens all the time to me, all right? But I realize there's no point worrying because I can always fix it. So I literally going to get a wet brush and I'm going to dissolve it. See how it, if I work on it gently, the paint's coming off, wipe it, and then add more water. And then if it looks a bit weird, I'll just add on top once it's dry. I'll come back to it. Again, I'm gonna do it one more time. The clean water really does make a difference. It just stops the murkiness, you know? Yeah, so I'm gonna go over that. Once it's dry, I'll go over it with some dabs. I'm just going to put this as the next step, step number 5. So we'll start that in a minute or two. If you're done, the mountains, just let me know, yeah? A few of you. I think that part will probably take longer, so maybe I should give you more time actually. Just let me know when you're done, okay? No rush though. Perfect, thanks, Sarah. I'll wait for about 3 more people to say done, and then we can carry on. Amazing, okay. All right, I think, yay, I'm so happy to hear that. I got a comment that says it's really relaxing and it's fun to see how it's coming together. Yeah, I'm so happy. That's made my day, that has. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's it, literally. It is relaxing, isn't it? It's wonderful, alhamdulillah. It's a gift, really. You know, like when you're like not feeling great, or, you know, like you're having a bad day or whatever. I was saying last week that basically before I used to like avoid painting because I'd be like, oh, like I'm not in the mood for that, right? I've had a rough day. I'm not in the mood for that. But recently, you know how I was telling you earlier that it's been healing? What I realized is literally it is magic, honestly. It just calms you right down. You know, you forget all your issues that you've had that day or whatever it is, you know, and I think it's important to have something like that, whatever it is, you know. I know some people say that about baking and cooking, maybe that, or knitting or painting, but you know, it's cool to have a few things too that you can do. Amazing, alhamdulillah. I'm glad to hear that, Sabra. Okay, so I'm going to show you the next bit. So how's this? If you haven't finished your mountains, just stop for a few minutes while I teach you this part, because otherwise you might feel like you're always playing catch up, you know, like you're always like a bit behind. And just to let you know 2 things. One, this will be recorded, so if you decide you want to do it again, that would be amazing. If you want, you're welcome to look at that. And number 2, you can always contact me if you have my number, or if you have Instagram, and you know, if you need tips or advice, or you want me to look at your painting, I'd love to do that. So yeah, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, so for the moon, so I painted it twice. and I was experimenting with these two finals, but I didn't really like, well, not that I didn't really like it, but I preferred this moon. So we're gonna do this moon over here, all right? I kind of put glitter on here, and then it ended up looking a bit like furry, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but I prefer this one, so we'll do that. Okay, so this is where you need, you know, on the list it said you need something round to draw around, so that's what you need, and it's up to you how big you want it, but we're doing a round moon, and I'm just using one of these Dollarama. They were empty cases, and I just put glitter in there, leftover glitter. So I'm going to put it in the middle, okay, because I want the reflection of the water down here. So for this, I can use pencil, because if I use chalk, it's going to be messy, you know. I mean, you can use chalk if you want. If you want that, you know, that smoky effect, actually. Maybe you can try chalk if you want, but I'm using pencil. So if you want to do exactly what I'm doing, you're more than welcome. So get a pencil, get the moon. Well, actually, don't get it. You just watch the 3 steps, and then you can do it. So I'm just going to show you whereabouts I'm placing it. Can you see the top? And can you see the bottom? It's pretty much halfway, all right? It's right bang in the middle of my sky. So I'm going to draw around. Actually, I'm going to put it slightly further up. Okay. Okay, so I've drawn around. Hopefully you can see. Can you see? Yeah? You can be lighter with yours if you want. I just wanted to make sure you can see, so I pressed quite hard. So you've got your outline of your moon. I'm just going to put this here, and please take a picture if you just want to have the notes on hand. All right? Okay, hopefully that was long enough. All right, so I'm just going to pop that here. So we've drawn the moon. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get, you want a small brush. So, but you don't really want, if you have something like a small flat brush or a scruffy brush, that would be best. Let me show you. So you want something like this, a small one, or you want something like this, a scruffy one. Okay, so I'll show you with both. When you're drawing the moon, we're going to be basically adding these craters. Okay, and the way that we do that is we get black. So, but not too much. So dip into the black. I always wipe off my paint before I go in. It's less scary that way. And then you're basically making these dabs. I'm going to bring it up. I think that would be better for you guys. So hang on. Okay, can you see? So dab, dab. I'm just drawing that kind of a, I looked online actually to see the craters of the moon, but honestly, like there's so many different moons and it depends where it was taken, right? So you decide. If you want to look it up on your phone, you're more than welcome to. But otherwise, just have fun with it. No one's going to say, hey, that doesn't look like a proper moon because you're missing one crater. I'm sure they won't. Hopefully. Okay. All right. And then I'm not going to wait for it to dry because I do want my black and my white to mix together. So I've put my dabs on my round moon. Can you see? And now I'm going to get some white paint. I didn't have much on, so I'm not going to wash my brush because I don't want it to be watery. But I'm going to just get some white paint. Just going to pop that here. Oh man, it's leaking. Okay. Sorry, I'm just cleaning up this brush. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going into the white with a dirty brush. And I'm going to basically paint my moon white over the black, okay? And you'll see how the colors kind of merge together. Starting to look a bit gray. So what I might do is dab. I'm gonna dab so that there is some white showing. Okay, so I've been pretty generous with how much paint I put. Can you see? But it will come together. So it looks a bit like what's going on. But that's the thing I realized, you know, before when I'd paint, I'd be like, what am I doing? What? It looks nothing like I want, or, you know, if I'm following a tutorial. But it literally is, it does look like that. It has to look like that. You just have to wait and see. So, you know what I'm noticing when I'm brushing the brush across, because it's wet, I'm not loving it. So I'm going to give you two options, and I'm going to be clear this time. So you can wait for the black to dry and then add the white on top. Or if you're happy to kind of be expressive and experimental like me, then you can just literally dab the white. And look, if I don't like how it looks, I'm just going to go over it when it's dry. So don't worry too much. And if you have silver, now is a good time to add silver, like into your moon. You can just mix it or add it on top. But if it's your first time painting, then maybe you just want to stick to this stuff, or first or second time painting. If you haven't painted for a while, then you want to stick to basics, just so it's not as daunting or scary. That's what I used to do anyway. And then I got more creative and, you know, had more fun with it because I felt like I understood it, if that makes sense. But you see how the moon's starting to look a bit 3D, hopefully. My pencil's showing, so I'm going to try and cover it. So you're welcome to either start if you feel confident, or you're welcome to continue watching. Oh, I'm getting pins and needles. I'm sitting on my knees here. And like, guys, you know, when I'm painting, I don't do this in one evening. That's, you know, not realistic, but I work on it, you know, over, you know, a week or whenever I have time, you know, like. But it's like now becomes something that I love doing. Like, I can't wait to do it. You know, it feels good to have something like that, you know. And I'm sure people who have a passion like baking or whatever it is, you feel that way too. You're thinking about it when you're doing other things, you know. Okay, so it's a good, it's a start, but it's pretty gray, and I think I'd like to add more white. So I'm just going to keep working on it, and that's literally the trick, right? It doesn't work out the first time. So yeah, you guys go ahead, and I'm going to carry on adding some white now on top. Now I'm just dabbing. I'm going to try and aim for having one side of my moon lighter, if that makes sense. I should probably have specified that or said that before. But I'm like, see here, I've got kind of like a light area, just so it looks like there's a bit of a glow. So I'm going to try and do that with this one actually. The key is a small brush and just taking time with it. All right, guys, and then we just have one step left after this, like this, the water, and I think we'll need around 15 minutes for that. So I hope that's okay with you guys. If you have to go, then I understand you can watch maybe the video after of the last 15 minutes, but hopefully you have nowhere to go and you can stay with me. That would be lovely. So yeah, it's just a layering process basically. That, you know how I'm doing like the dab, the little circles, it kind of helps with the crater kind of a look. So yeah. Okay. Sabra, sorry, I've just seen your question. You said, is the bottom of the bottle too big? It actually just depends on your canvas. How big is your canvas? Can you type it? Just type me the size. But when you say bottle, I assume you mean this one, yeah? I mean, it's fine. To be honest, last week when I did the masjid painting, I used this bottle. So it's up to you. I think it'll be fine because your canvas looked quite big. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, go ahead because you've got a big canvas, so the bottle's fine. That's actually perfect. When any of you are done the moon, just let me know so that we can move on to the final part of the painting. I'm just going to show you how many times I've painted. Hang on. If you're interested, I'm just going to show you how many times I've painted. See, look, here's my masjid one, okay? So I've got, this is what I did last week. So I've got 1, 2, and these are my finals. You know, I've even done it in my book. 3, 4, 5, and then using, like I use the same 4 colors. I painted that with the same 4 colors too. All right, so you can see that it really, you know, it takes time and practice, but I was really enjoying it, so it didn't feel stressful, it felt fun. Amazing. Okay. Oh, Sabrine, sorry. Hi. What are you asking me? To show the moon again? Sabu? Show your other, oh, my paintings. Yeah, sure. Okay, so I was just, remember how earlier I was saying that I paint the same thing again and again until I'm happy with it. So here's one of them. And then here's another one of them. They're all the same. I've got like some of the same one too. So if, you know, like, and I'm telling you guys, if you do this painting again, you're going to find that, you know, you learn things every time, right? So it'll be even better next time. That one. And then there's this one, you know, just like experimenting with different options before I taught it. So that one, and all of these paintings were created with the same 4 colors. So thank you. Okay, I'm ready to show you the last part. Are you guys ready? Okay, so this part, you can take a screenshot. Here, put it down. I'm just trying to navigate the camera, making sure you can see. It's like a whole new world, honestly. I know some of you are pros, but I'm like a granny when it comes to all this technology stuff. So there's 4 steps for this, and it'll take about, for me to teach you, it'll take about 15 minutes, okay? Okay, so we're gonna start off with mountain shadows, okay? So for this, you need, I'm gonna use this brush that I've been using all along, this small flat one, okay? Oh, that one. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a little bit of black into my palette, like this, and I'm gonna get water, all right? I want to create, here, let me just get that. I want to create a watercolor paint with the acrylic. So I'm going to mix it, mix it, mix it. See how watery that is? That's actually not watery enough. So I'm going to add more. I want it to be so translucent and not as harsh as this, okay? If I wanted, I could even add some blue just to kind of calm down the, I added some blue because I felt like it was a bit too harsh. Okay, so added a little bit of royal blue, my main color at the top of the sky. Okay, now I've got this black paint all over my brush. I'm going to dab it off. Okay, dab it off, and then I'm literally, hang on. Sorry, I'm just making some space. Okay, so I'm literally going to be creating lines for the shadows. So you can look here at the old piece, okay? And I'm literally going under my dark mountains and I'm doing this. You see how it looks like a watercolor? I can even make that more watery by washing my brush and drying it again. You just want to make sure your brush is not dripping. That's the key, okay? So I'm literally doing this. Just like waves. It doesn't matter if it's like scatty, it doesn't matter if it's broken, but the key, guys, for the shadows is that you don't want it to be thick or dark. You want it to look watery, okay? Maybe I'm gonna make some bits high. All right, can you see how I've got this kind of a watery effect? Okay. So I'm just trying to think whether I should show you step by step or should I just show you the 4 steps? Oh, sorry, Anissa, Anissa's asking what color do you use? So let's do one by one. I think it's going to be more manageable. So for these shadows, I use black and I mixed it with water. Okay. You can use a dark blue as well. So you can add blue and black together. And then you're literally just creating little lines. But you need to make sure it's watery. Like it's a really thin kind of a black. It's nowhere near as strong as this mountain. And again, if you don't mind telling me when you're done, yeah? Just a few of you, just so I know I'm not leaping too fast. Ready? Okay, perfect. I have a couple of people saying ready. So I'm just going to show you. So if you find that you're still taking time, probably because you've got a big canvas, that's fine. Just stop and watch, just so you don't miss it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is the moon reflection. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make this. Okay. So for this, I'm happy to have white. If your white's quite thick, then you want to water it down. But mine's pretty watery. So I'm just going to go into my white. So let me just reposition, sorry. Okay, so I've gone into my white, I've tapped off, and I'm basically creating lines, straight lines from the middle all the way down. So let me hold it up so you can see. So it looks like the moon is reflecting, all right? So you want to be, it's better if you have a thinner brush and less paint, because you can always go back, right? So yeah, 1. And don't worry if it wisps off, actually that looks really nice. And I'm actually adding some wisps. I really like the wisp. Do you see that? So now my paint's drying out a little bit. So I'm gonna add a teeny bit of water, all right? And I'm gonna just make sure that my paint's coated by just doing that, tap, tap on either side, and I'm gonna go back in. Yeah, it's pretty watery. More paint. Do you see how it's like literally, I mean, just because I painted or I paint regularly doesn't mean I figured it out. I'm always learning and changing and adjusting. So yeah. I'm trying to create that V. I just realized it's quite thin. And again, remember, if you make a mistake, all you have to do is get water and water it down. Just pretend it never happened. All right, so yeah, yeah, coming together. Keep working on it. I hope you're easy on yourself. This is, you know, it's not an easy painting, you know, so you should be really proud of yourself for giving it a go. Okay, yeah, so if I hold it back, you can see how it's come together, right? I feel like sometimes when you look at it close up, it doesn't look, you're not sure about how it looks, but when you hold it back, then it looks more whole, if that makes sense. Okay. So we did step number 1, which was the shadows. We did step number 2, which was the moon reflection. Okay, so now we're gonna use the white brush and we're gonna add more. So I wanna make this line. I like the boot, like I don't know, I feel like it just makes it stand out. So I'm gonna make a watered down effect. I like this one better. Okay, so I'm gonna make that milk again. So water and white, just make sure it's clean water. And I'm gonna go ahead and draw that line at the back here. Okay, just dabbing it off, sorry, because it's too wet. Okay, so I've got my white line. If you want, it's up to you. You can add a little bit here too, just to give it a bit of a glow. Did you see how I did that? I just added some white just here in front of the shadow. Just a little bit. My mom actually taught me this, that it just makes it look more realistic. Okay, so I just added some milky white in between the lines, the black lines. Okay, so step 1, black shadow. Step 2, moon reflection. Step 3, the white line and the little white bits. Okay. Okay, there's let me see. Okay, so basically just one more step, which is bringing the rest of the water alive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make lines with blue and turquoise, just to make the rest of the water look more real. Okay, so I'm going to start with a dark blue. Thank you. Oh, I understand. Thanks for the kids who stayed up. I know it's quite late. Maybe you can watch the video tomorrow. Thanks for staying, guys. Okay, so just doing the last bits. Okay, I've got some dark blue here, and I'm going to water it down. It's watery, very watery. Not dripping, but what I mean is I mix the paint with water, so it looks like a watercolor. And then I'm going to create waves like this. Oh, I'm going to be a bit thinner. I actually just want to remind you, if you make a mistake, get water and just pretend it never happened. You can erase it. Okay, so I'm going to go back in. It's almost like short reflections, even long ones actually. I did long ones on a few of them. Do you see how I'm doing like strokes? Please send me your paintings after you're done. I'd love to see. Sorry, just see. I don't know if you can see. I'm gonna do it maybe like this. So when you see the turquoise next to it, it'll hopefully pop more. Okay, do you see how I've just basically made lines? I literally made lines. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to add turquoise. And the same trick where I'm getting turquoise and I'm getting water. My water's a bit dirty, so it's gone a bit murky. Okay, this is the final step, guys. So dab, dab, because I've got too much water. And I'm literally going to go next to the blue and paint on above, maybe on the bottom, just to make it pop. Or even between it, actually. I've tried both and they look good. They still look like water reflections, especially when you hold it back. Okay. Just adding some more paint. You can, if you wanted, and you look back and you think that it's not that blended, you can even add some turquoise in between if you want. I think people think it's a lot more complicated than it is, but actually it's pretty random. I don't have a plan. I just decide then. Yeah, and then if you obviously if you have a canvas, you can paint around the outsides as well, just to make it look more finished. But there we have it, all done. So I'm completely finished. I just want to, can I just, before you guys go, and if you have questions, you can ask me after. I just want to share this one Quran quote because it's so beautiful. Because it's Ramadan coming up, I felt like it was really appropriate. So it says, had we sent down this Quran to a mountain, you would have seen it humbled, okay, let me try again. Had we sent down this Quran to a mountain, you would have seen it humbled, burst apart out of awe for Allah. Okay, so Surah Al-Hashr, verse 21. And it's so beautiful, and it just like hit me right there in my heart. So I just wanted to leave you with that, and hopefully you'll connect those two quotes, Quran ayahs, with the painting. And I hope you're really happy with it. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. You can do glitter on the moon. Sorry, I've just seen a question. You can add glitter on the moon if you want. Totally, it's up to you. Definitely. If you have any questions, go ahead. Actually, there's a trick that I learned recently. You get eyeshadow and you get water, you mix it together and you can make reflections. So actually, if you guys are free to stay, I can show you. So I've got my blue eyeshadow. And thank you for staying so late, you guys. Thank you for all your lovely comments too. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the eyeshadow trick, okay? I don't even know why I have these. I don't use them, but I'm really glad I kept them now. So I can use for this. So I've got some eyeshadow. It's just a powder one. Mix it with water. And I'm going to use that on the water now. I use glitter for the first one, but I feel like it's hard not to make a bit of, like, it's hard to get them thin. But I use glitter here for the one that I advertise for. But I'm going to try eyeshadow for this one. It'll be fun. So I'll try it, and then if you like it, then you can do it. If not, then... Sorry, I'm just going to dab it. Okay, yeah, I kind of like it. I don't know what you think. What do you guys think? Can you see the, probably can't, I'm not sure if you can see with the camera, but. Okay, all done. Okay, Romina, I'm done. Are we? You don't have to do the waves, Anissa. I'm so glad you liked it. Thanks for all the lovely comments. Yay! Ramina, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, I was
I
going to
am.
say, falling asleep.
No, thank you. I've been watching. I was watching the eyeshadow highlights, and it looks absolutely amazing.
Aw, thank
So I'm glad we've got this recorded so that I can maybe sit down with a canvas later and give it a try.
Amazing. I'd love to see that.
Thank you so much for an amazing session, Sajida.
My
We will be
pleasure.
sharing the video. People are asking when your next session is, so I think you're quite in demand. We'll have to put a
Oh,
schedule out for Sajida.
yeah, yeah.
But thank you so much. We're going to be putting the recording out on a similar link, probably jarfree.org/ladies paint night. And we will also, if you want to email your paintings in, you can, to the email address I put in the chat group, and we can post those there too, and I'll obviously share them with Sajida as well. Yeah, so we can go from there, inshallah. And if you have any questions, I guess Sajida, they can email or get in touch with you.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone stay safe. Have a great Ramadan that's coming up, and inshallah, look after each other, look after yourselves, your families, and if you need to go and do something therapeutic, then find Sajida. She can hold a mini one-on-one paint course, inshallah. Thank you guys.
Thank you. I actually teach kids. That's my my thing. That's my,
Are you doing it during Ramadan as well? Do you have some courses
I
coming?
don't have anything planned actually. Maybe one session with a friend of mine actually, just for Eid. But I don't have any. I don't really teach adults. I teach kids. But I just wanted to share this so that you can maybe do it. You can do it. Try it. Maybe watch YouTube videos, or maybe try a paint night with someone else. Yeah, definitely.
I think it's awesome. Thank you. Inshallah, after everything ends and we open up, maybe we can do some live paint night classes where we can actually see each other and
yeah. In real life, you mean? Yeah, totally. I know,
when
right?
we open, inshallah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ramina, for all your help.
No worries. Take care. I'm
Take
going
care.
to end the session in the next couple of minutes because it'll stop
Amazing.
recording automatically. It will take everybody out from the session. If you have any questions, just get in touch with us at the email address we provided, and we'll do our best to help you out. So Sajida, I'm going to end this session in the next minute or two, okay?
Thank you. Kadafis, everyone. Thanks so much for coming.
Hafiz.
Hanging out with me.